Hello, everyone, and welcome to Medford Happenings, a show for and about the city of Medford. And I am John Petrola, and the purpose of our program is to give Medford citizens facts and information to help you make informed choices and to discover city services or businesses you may not have been aware of. And we have returning guests today. It's our honor to have them both, Mayor Breanna Lungo Koehn and Milva McDonald, who is the chairperson of the Neighborhood Ambassador Task Force. Thank you both for coming. It's really nice to have you on again.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to get into the ambassador program today, but before we do, I have to bring up Carr Park. Because
Yes.
I know it was the ribbon cutting today.
Yes, we cut the final ribbon for Carr Park, which was a project we've been working on for over 5 years. Yes, and today we officially opened the splash pad, and most importantly had Congresswoman Clark here in Medford, who obtained probably at least $2 million in funding just for the basketball courts and the shade cover, which has solar panels on top to power the lights within the park, which is amazing. So we're so thankful. Without that federal money, some ARPA funding, additional park grant, we couldn't have made that possible. And it's a park for the whole community to enjoy, from babies to elders to dogs and everybody in between. It's amazing. It was a great
Yes,
morning.
I heard it was, and I heard it from good sources. I got phone calls today, how beautiful it is. I got to get up and check it out myself. But
Please do.
Congratulations on that. That's a great thing up there.
Thank
it really
you.
is.
Team effort. The
Yes.
city, we have
Yeah.
a team that works monthly, and Amanda Centrella, one of our planners, led the charge. So it was definitely a huge team effort.
Very good. Very nice. Okay, so as I said, we're happy to have you both back on the show. And we're going to be discussing the Neighborhood Ambassadors Task Force today. We'll jump right into it. And, the first question everyone's asking, not just me, what's the purpose of the task force? Who initiated it? And a three-part question, who initiated it and why?
I can start, and then Milva can fill in the
Sure.
blanks on this one. As a city, we are trying to get out communication any way possible. We have a monthly newsletter. We do a robocall bi-weekly, so about twice a month, with events and important meetings. We have social media, and we also put out press releases on quite a few things a week that are happening that we want the residents to know about. Those posts are then shared within our newsletter and on social media, and we are doing everything we can to communicate out. And I know you're helping, John, getting the word out on so many great programs and businesses. But still, you find people that will say, I didn't know about that, or that wasn't communicated out well enough, or I wish I knew. We do our best to try to get people to sign up for the robocall or the email or the text messages for notifications. And in 1 month, it seemed that I had a school committee member that was very concerned about, just reading those comments on social media, but still knowing that, yes, the city's doing a lot, but why don't you, Member Parks made a great recommendation. Why don't you put in some of your robocalls, the different communication platforms at the end? So we started doing that. And around the same time, I had coffee with Milva, and we had talked about different things in the city. And then I had a separate coffee with Jim Silva, who I call the mayor of South Medford.
Yes,
he
Jim.
started
Yep, good guy.
Smarto. Wonderful guy.
Yep,
And
he is. Yep.
He started Smarto, and he's still active with making sure that important press releases or city news or school city council news is shared if it has to do with South Medford. So between those two different coffees and the school committee member and seeing what I was reading on social media with just, we need more communication, we kind of collectively said, what if we had a neighborhood task force where you had one or two people from each neighborhood that could serve on a committee just to enhance communications and let the city know what we needed to do better or how we could expand and enhance our services. So with that, the neighborhood task force idea was born. I thought it was a great idea. It wasn't my initial idea alone. It just came out of this month of just where we was seeing a lot of, I didn't know about that. I wish I knew. And thankfully, I obtained the support of Milva and Jim and a few others, and then we picked, we worked on picking a task force. But that's kind of just in general where it originated. I don't know if Milva has anything to add, because she was at one of the coffees where we were discussing this. But
yeah, I mean, I remember it came from just people talking together who love the city and love the neighborhoods and just are always, I mean, Jim especially is always thinking about ways to help people and strengthen the city and strengthen neighborhoods. And that communication and that idea to just make it smoother. Like, I feel like the ambassadors are sort of a conduit between the people and City Hall. So, as we get this program going, as the ambassadors just sort of really dig in more, and as people become more aware of it,
Right.
I think it will just get stronger. And
this is like a two-way street now. It's like two-way communication.
Yeah.
City, the people, back and forth.
yeah, I think it's what Jim Silver had done 10, 15 years ago with South Medford. He went and he introduced himself to his neighbors,
Yep.
and he got to know everybody that lived in the community. And then he created a email list that he could push information out to. So it was him helping push out city communications to his neighborhood when it was an issue affecting him. We, kind of in my head, I'm like, we could have somebody like this in every single neighborhood, focusing just on the communications. Now, there's been some issues where complaints have come into some of our ambassadors, and it's not for complaints necessarily.
Right.
Like, you have a complaint, call my office, call a city department,
Right.
email us. These ambassadors are truly as, here's information that my neighborhood needs to know, and you know what, city, we feel like we could have done this better, or we should do this or add this. So we're still working out the cracks.
Right.
We've had 2 or 3 meetings. We're going to continue. I'm so thankful. They've scheduled meetings over the summer. They're not going to
Yep.
break. And I
Nice.
think within the next few months you're going to see, more come out of the task force. But yeah, it's going to take a good 6 months to really plant the seeds and kind of watch it grow.
Okay, I got to say this. I know quite a few people that were picked. I think you made some great choices. I love the fact that you're with it, Milva. I know
Thanks.
you'll do a great job. And I know there's a lot of other people on this. Can you tell us how, these people were picked? How were they placed as ambassadors? I mean, what was that process like?
Sure. The city put out a press release asking for applicants that were interested in helping with communications in their neighborhood. We've received a good amount of applicants, and I knew I couldn't do it alone, so I brought in a team of 5 or 6 that separated who applied from which neighborhood, and I was really looking for a politically diverse group of people. I tried to do that with the Charter Review Commission as well, because the charter is just somewhat governing
Right.
the city. It has to do with politics. And what we did, we were hoping for a committee of 7 to 9 people, because I tend to think that the 7 to 9 is a good number. Anything larger can, the more you have, the harder it is to kind of control and make sure everybody's at all the meetings. But we really did think there was so many amazing applicants. Like, we're so thankful for everybody that applied, and definitely those that weren't, we would love to get them on another committee. So what I did was got some feedback from from the group of people, and picked 2 from each neighborhood. And I said, if one, and then we picked a date, Wednesday at 6:00. We're going to have these meetings. We told those 15 people, you've been chosen. These meetings will be once a month at 6 to 7:30 on Wednesday nights. Please let us know if you're still interested. And from that 15, if you weren't able to do it, but we thought that was a fair way. I thought that was a fair way to
Yeah.
at least start the process and start this committee. And there we ended up with 13 plus throughout the process. Milva stuck out for me as somebody that could lead and lead exceptionally well. We've saw Milva and
Yeah,
what Milva did with charter.
I think everyone in the city is well aware of Milva, who she is, what she is, the things she does for the city. I agree with you. It's great. No, it is. It is.
Yeah, on point, just,
Yes.
on top of everything, very responsive, caring, and to create a document that Milva McDonald and the team built, the whole charter committee built over the 18 months to 2 years, and have all those meetings and community meetings and listen to feedback, and to come up with that document from such a politically diverse group of people was pretty remarkable. So I know that I'm not available every Wednesday night, although I'm going to, try to go to the
Right.
July meeting
Yep.
and a meeting here and there. But there's no one better to lead the charge and be that person that can communicate with me on a weekly basis on this task force than Milva. So I'm very happy that the way that it turned out, and
I think
Milva said
it's-
yes.
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
it's great. I really do.
Yeah, I just applied to be an ambassador, and then the mayor asked me if I would chair, which I was honored, as I was also honored to chair the charter committee. But
Right.
it was a team effort, the charter, and I see the ambassadors also as a team effort, and that's one of the things that I'm most excited about is creating a really solid team to do this. So
I got to say, you're a great choice. I mean, you guys are doing I think it's just, I don't usually give my opinion, but I think this is a great program. I really do, and it's good. I look at, know a lot of people, and I think this, it is diverse, and I think that's the key. You're going to have a lot of different, a lot of different opinions, and it's good. I think it's a great, great thing. I really do. I think this is a great program. I think, there's a ton of potential for this. And I got to ask, what are some of your, let's call them goals? What are your early goals, and do you have any long-term goals for this?
Yeah, do you want to start us off?
Well, I mean, for me, one of the early goals is just to get the team going, as we talked about. I want the ambassadors to get to know each other and connect with each other and throw ideas off, each other and and the other piece is to get the ambassadors familiar. I mean, they know their neighborhoods well, but there's so many resources at City Hall, and there's so much there.
Right.
And one of the things that the ambassadors will be doing over the coming weeks and months is just becoming really familiar with what's available there, so that that can be shared with residents, and also listening to residents and conveying what they're hearing to City Hall, sort of getting the pulse of what's happening on the ground, and sharing that with City Hall. So, we're having department heads or members of departments at City Hall come to our meetings and just talk to us about what's available, and out of that also there might come ideas about ways to collaborate. So that's sort of early goals.
Right.
Yep, and then and I think just kind of what we talked about earlier with what Jim did for South Medford. They're talking about ideas now more than I could even imagine.
Right.
But email blast to gaining an email database for your neighborhood, and welcoming new neighbors to your figuring out who's new in the community and knocking on the door, or if some ambassadors may not want to knock on doors, but they give a letter, I'm your ambassador, here's a form you could fill out so you could sign up for the city's newsletter, and you can also sign up for robocalls. And then, I also know they're going to be attending different community events and being present and letting people know we're here to help build communication so that you're in the know. And there's just so many great ideas coming out of the committee that we kind of have to formulate and figure out what will work for everybody and create that checklist.
Yeah. That's all great stuff, really. I mean that.
And I would say another long-term goal is just to enhance and increase civic engagement and excitement. and just empower residents too to realize, yeah, I really can have a relationship with City Hall, and and I can be part of my community in, a really meaningful ways.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's very important. I really do.
And we have our connectors and liaisons that work for the Office of Prevention and Outreach. So
Right.
the team has already met with that group. It's 12
Right.
people that are amazing. They work for the city part-time. I think one is full-time, but part-time.
Yep.
They all speak a second language. So this is just
Nice.
an extra way to enhance making sure that not only does everybody feel welcome and accepted and be part of the city and government, but they can get their questions answered. They can get help when they need it. They can get supports when they need it, and they can know through communications what's going on in their own community, from high-level meetings to a grand opening
Yeah.
at Carr Park.
Awesome stuff. All right. Next question. And I know this. Reaching out and hearing from Medford residents, I mean, it is a tremendous challenge. It has been for a while to really reach out. I guess the question is, what are some of the ways? The Ambassador Task Force, what are some of the ways, that maybe they can solve this or resolve it? I don't know what the...
Well, I think even just enhance or help. So for
Okay.
example, we do pretty well in Medford when we put out a survey. It seems like there's a lot of busy people in our community. Everybody's working and taking care
Right.
of families
Yep.
or their parents, and we do a lot of surveys. But it's a matter of people knowing about the surveys. So although we do get pretty good responses, the ambassadors will know about every survey that we put out.
That's
and
nice.
whatever platforms, either they're using all the same platform, or some are doing email blasts, some are doing door hangers, some are going to community events. It's just an extra way to say, hey, did you know the city was doing this survey on a park that's right down the street
Right.
from us? Please fill it out. You can drop it off at my house, and I'll bring the whole package of them to City
Yeah.
Hall. So even enhancing things like our surveys is just one thing that I think the ambassadors will help with, and that goes along with when community meetings are, especially when it has to do with their neighborhood, and so much more.
Yeah, and as we get more established and we start to get to know the city staff and department heads, if a particular department is putting out a survey that's particular to a neighborhood,
Right.
they can contact the ambassador and say, hey, just wanted you to know this, to, whatever help we can get to get the word out. I mean, there's a lot of ways. We have the emails and the contact information of every ambassador currently on the website.
Right. Yep.
So people can find them, and people are starting to contact ambassadors through that. So that's one way. And presence at events, as the mayor mentioned, is another way. Some of the ideas also people have talked about is block parties, kind of just to get people more connected in their
Right.
neighborhoods, and coffee hours, bulletin boards. I mean, there's a lot of ideas.
Yeah,
that
and
are
I'm sure you
being
you
floated.
do have a lot. It sounds like you got a lot of
Yeah.
ideas, and I know you guys will definitely follow through on it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
we had a wonderful Porch Fest 2 weekends ago.
Yes.
2 weekends
Yep.
ago, and I
Yep.
just got a compliment on it. Although it was a private, run privately, and we help advertise.
Right.
Got a compliment that it was the most. I think we had about 20 block party permits, and the city was just buzzing. It wasn't as packed as Somerville was, but you had so many residents that were just going from block party to block party, or hanging out at one block party, and the feel was amazing. So I can totally see our ambassadors next year taking that huge map of the city of Medford,
Right.
and where all the 150 porches were, breaking it down to their community and publicizing, hey neighborhood, did you know we have 10 porches in our neighborhood alone? Come meet your neighbors, and flyering doors or doing the email blasts once we
Yeah.
get that full year under our belt.
I think that's great, especially the block parties, because it's nice to have a lot of neighbors don't know each other anymore.
Yeah.
I hate to
Right.
say it, but they don't, and to me, that's a great way to get people to, we're all looking for the same things, just, we really are. That's the way I've
Yep.
always felt. So all good stuff. So, you guys mentioned a lot of communications, that the group is working on. Can you share some, like, I don't know, maybe like a timeline? I mean, I know this is going to take time. And everything, I think the audience is going to love what you're saying. And I think people are really, the people I've spoken to are really happy about this.
Great.
I mean, and I know it's just starting out. So can you give us, like, maybe some type of timeline when...
Well, I'll say right now, I mean, we're still building the program, but it is active. So people right now can reach out to ambassadors, communicate with them, get, help with issues. I mean, ambassadors can't solve your problem, but they can help you become aware of what resources might be available
Right.
to address problems. We are meeting over the summer, as the mayor said. We are going to be at the farmers market on September 10th.
Great.
So we'll be there with a table and hopefully meet a lot of people and let people know about the program. And one thing that's in the works, it's not completely scheduled yet, but one idea that came out of our last gathering was an open house for ambassadors somewhere, maybe the library
That would
in
be
the
awesome.
fall. So
Yeah.
people will be invited to come and meet their
Yeah.
ambassadors. And then different ambassadors will be doing different things within their own neighborhoods.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Sort
Yeah.
of a free-for-all, right?
I mean, every ambassador is an individual.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and every neighborhood is different.
Yes.
So, it won't be the same
Right.
neighborhood to neighborhood, but...
But if there are going to be, the ideas are still being discussed, and
Right.
if there are going to be specific checklist items, I would expect sometime in the fall.
Okay.
If they're all going to do email blasts, you got to give us a few more months.
Oh,
But,
no, I
yeah.
know. Listen, we all know. I mean, it's just starting out, and it does. It takes time, and once it gets rolling, though, I think this is really going to take off.
Yeah, and we're also keeping track of all the communications that the ambassadors get so
Right.
that when we meet with city staff, we can say, okay, we have this is what we're hearing from
Right.
people, and, they can sort of sense, okay, that sounds like an issue we should be addressing,
Right.
or, et cetera.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great program. All right, so I know you're joining forces with the Friends of the Medford Public Library. That's for the library card drive in September. I have a library card. I just want you to know that. Everyone should have one because that library is an incredible place, but that's for another show. Do you have any other joint ventures or similar things you guys are looking to get involved with?
Not at the moment.
Right.
We were very excited that we were asked to work on the library card drive.
Yep.
Because, of course, the library is beloved by all,
Oh, yeah.
pretty much. And we welcome ideas for other collaborations. One of the things at our meeting in May, the health department came and spoke with us, and
Oh.
they talked about their excitement about the program, because some of the issues that they work on are very conducive to neighborhood cooperation. So
Right.
they talked about, if ambassadors can get groups together in the neighborhoods, if anybody's experiencing rodent issues, we would love to
There you go.
help,
Yep.
so the ambassadors can kind of help get things like that going. So I think that there will be more, and they'll come from maybe whatever's happening in the neighborhoods, and like the library card drive.
Right.
We were asked to help. So
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. I just like that it's going to be, everything you're saying, just,
And they'll be at the farmers market, like Milva said,
Right.
in September.
That's
So
another great
as they
thing.
have a table, more and more people will realize
Right.
who they are, what they're about,
Yeah.
and it's all about communication. So I can see more and more city staff and groups looking to the ambassadors for help and support.
Yeah.
They are not, again, not ones to go and complain to or try
Right.
to get their problem solved,
Yeah.
but they can lead them the ambassadors can lead them in the right direction and yeah, just hopefully everybody knows this is all about communication. How do we make sure we know what we're not doing well enough and can enhance, and how do we make sure they're helping push out communications so everybody knows of that zoning meeting regarding their neighborhood,
Right.
or that new Medford High School meeting that affects families and kids and everybody who lives in Medford who, will foot the bill. Just so much so that they're going to be able to help
There's a
with.
lot people need to know.
Yep.
There's a lot people want to know, and I think it's going to help. That's for sure. It really is. All right. So now, these are my questions because this is what I always think about. So we have the task force. Like I said, you got some great people in there. Is the ambassador task force like a permanent position? Are there any plans for the length of service? Each member will serve. Is it voluntary only? Is that how this works? I mean, what do you guys?
Sure. This is not by ordinance. This is not a board or commission mandated that you have to be at every meeting. This is volunteer basis. Some meetings are on Zoom. Some meetings are in City Hall. Milva just hosted at our house to get people to know each other recently. So I can see this group really succeeding. Again, it's going to take a little time to get the feet wet, but I can see this group really succeeding. So as I have another, 18 months in this term alone, and I would love if the task force could be active during this term at least. But no, there's no term limits, no stipends, unfortunately. This is just a mayor's task force to try to enhance communications and make sure people are aware of everything the city has to offer, and we can learn on how to enhance and do better.
So this is great. I like this. Now, this is probably way out there in the future, but the neighborhood task force, you got a person for each neighborhood. I mean, is it possible, will they be holding meetings, with the neighbors maybe? Is that a possibility at someone's, I don't know, backyard barbecue or whatever it is?
Possibly,
Is
yeah. I
that
think there could be a coffee hour here or there, and tell us how you learn things. Or they could do their own surveys. How do you, in the hillside, my neighbors in the hillside, how do you want to learn about what the city's doing and what events there are and what meetings there are and how to get involved and when there's a survey that comes out. I could see some ambassadors wanting to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I bring that up because I get together with guys every Saturday morning. We have coffee. Mm-hmm. And we try to solve the problems of the world, but it just doesn't seem to be happening.
You're helping.
We try,
with the show.
Well, I hopefully this helps get the message out there, and I really do believe that's something Medford needs, communication, people coming together, everyone working together. I think a lot more gets accomplished that way. I really do. Yep. I always felt that way. Okay, so here's the last question, and believe me, I have a lot more, so maybe we bring you back again, I love having you guys on, so I had you both on separately, and it's always a pleasure. So who do you see benefiting from this program? I mean, you see a benefit to the staff at City Hall, people that live here. If you had to wrap it all up, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Who do you see?
The number one group of people that I think I see that we want to benefit from this are people that are not receiving communication for one reason or another. Right. They're new to Medford. They're not on social media. They don't have a computer. People that move in and they're new families, or people that need support and don't realize how much the city has to offer, from our recovery coach to our social worker to our liaisons and connectors that speak a second language. So I think the number one group we want, again, to benefit from this are our residents, all of our residents, but especially those that for one reason or another aren't learning as much as they should be about what the city has to offer and what we're doing and events and public meetings that could affect them, their family,
Yep.
their neighborhood.
Yep.
So overall, I think it will benefit all of the above, but our residents. This is why we're doing this.
Okay.
I agree. That is the main driver. But I also do think it will help city staff as well. You know, and I'm hoping that city staff will eventually see the ambassadors as a resource, and that residents will see the ambassadors as a resource, and you know, all the things. So.
Right. Yeah, we just had a few listening sessions at Tufts Park because we're going to be doing that tot lot over, and it happened already, but I can see all of our park projects when we need feedback from neighborhoods and residents. This is a way to enhance
Right.
that, and whether it's an email blast or a social media post, but the ambassadors can say, "Hey, did you know there's these 2 listening sessions at Tufts Park or the next park we do? Go down, or fill out this survey if you can't make it down there, or go talk to Amanda and the planning staff and let them know what you want to see for your kids and your family and the neighborhood." So I do see this as a definite positive and a great enhancement for our community.
That's great. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I've done this kind of thing in my neighborhood, you know, like there were parking issues because I live near the commuter rail, and,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
calling meetings, talking about that, resolving that issue. So I have a list from, you know, all of that. And then when I know that there's an issue going on that I think residents want to hear about, I email my list and say, hey, you know, FYI, there's a meeting at City Hall. And the more people we have doing that kind of thing, the more people are going to feel engaged, empowered, connected, and the more the city can do its job for the
Right.
residents.
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned parking. I love that one because, no, really, there seems to be a lot going on with that again. And, you know, see, when I was young, I just have to throw this quick story in. When I was young, we had like 4 cars in my family. Our neighbors had 2, but like it always worked out in the wintertime because seriously, you knew every single neighbor. And the people that had driveways, boom, you know. As a matter of fact, me and my brothers used to fight all the time because who had to move this car, that car, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting, you know. But I think this is going to help with that, you know.
I hope so.
I really
Yeah.
do. I think it is. I think it's great. I really do.
You do, and you have some ambassadors already doing
See?
putting out minutes of the ambassador meetings out
Nice.
online, being
Good.
very transparent, and some will be able to dedicate an hour or 2 a week. Some may do more. All we're
Right.
asking is for people. We're so thankful for the team that we've built, and
Right.
as people may not be able to do it anymore, we'll put new ambassadors in. But it's a really great group, and I'm really happy with what's happened so
Yeah.
far. It's only been a few months, and I look forward to see what's to come.
I
Yeah,
see,
and
I see being
I'm the chair. I'm
successful.
not assigned to a specific neighborhood, but my contact information is on the ambassador page, and I
Right.
welcome anyone who has
Yep.
ideas, thoughts, questions, issues to contact me anytime too. So
Well, you know, I hate to say it, but it's that time again. It is. So, you know, I want to thank Milva, Mayor Breanna. Thank you both for joining us. Medford Happenings. I really think this is going to be a great program. Wish you both continued success
Thank
Thank
in
you.
whatever you guys decide to do. Really.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much.
And we're available for you. If you need anything we can do for you, let us know as far
I'll be
as the
back.
program.
Great.
Yeah, no, let us know.
Yeah,
We're
I got
here
a couple
for
issues I want to talk about
Yep.
this summer.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Unless you don't have air conditioning in here.
yeah,
again.
no, yeah. I know that is the only thing. Usually,
Oh,
every time
good.
the
Oh,
gym-
good. I'm kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
no, it
This
is.
is
It's
good.
awfully hot in this studio.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. All the lights.
Yep.
All right, so I also want to take a minute, of course, to thank everyone who has been watching the show. Thank you for your feedback. We're getting a lot of feedback. If you would like to appear on the show, please just contact us at Medford Happenings 02155 or 02155, I should say, at gmail.com. You will be able to watch replays of this program on Medford community media access channel. Please check out our website, medfordhappenings.com, where you can now either view, listen, download. There's a podcast of this program. There's a lot going on with Medford Happenings. And also, you can find all of our shows on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com and search for Medford Happenings. Please like and subscribe to our channel and videos. This is getting longer and longer. You can also find us on Facebook at Medford Happenings, and we also have our own subreddit. And you can find us at reddit.com/r/Medford Happenings. For the Medford Happenings team, for Paul, Marco, Bruce, James, Joe, I am John Petrola. And remember, Medford, please stay informed. Great show.
Great.
Yeah, it went
Thanks.
great. Ta-da!